Morning. We have a special treat today. One of my best friends in the world, a guy that's a hero in the faith for me for many years. I even just tear up when I think about Kit. So Kit was in the ministry back in Alpharetta when Vicki and I were there. He had the curse of our son, Bo, dying on his watch, basically. And Kit, he didn't know what to do. He had no clue. He'd never been through anything like it. But Kit was an amazing, faithful servant of God and a brother who watched out for us, who served us, and made sure, really, that everybody around us was there for us. And I'll never forget it. I'll always appreciate him so much for that. Not only that, Kit, the man can preach. I mean, the man has just... He has changed my life with so many different things that he's taught. I mean, not just up on the big stage, but in little, small group sessions. In so many ways, he's touched me and changed me. And one of the highlights of my year, really, is the opportunity to have Kit come and speak to us. And I just want to be real honest. We had a great weekend where we were really real and raw and vulnerable. I'm going to be vulnerable about this. So Jim and Cindy, probably mostly Jim, thought of Kit would be a great person to speak this Sunday, the Sunday of the marriage retreat. And I totally don't disagree, but I called Kit and I said, well, look, I just want to be really honest with you. I said, Kit, when I think of you coming to preach, what I want to hear about more than anything is the amazing way that God is working through you in the ministry of ministering to hardened criminals in the prisons throughout the world, in helping teens and really, so Kit's been doing that for a long time. And I watch, Vicki and I watch 60 Days In sometimes, and I just go, I can't keep watching it. It just crushes me. It just hurts. It's horrible seeing the way people treat each other in the prisons. And Kit has been instrumental in changing the heart and the attitude of people in these prisons all over the world. He's recognized all over the world for doing this. And yet he then figured out, God put it on his heart, that you actually need to get to people before they become hardened criminals to try to help divert them. And so he's also working with teens and helping them with the power of peace. And that's really the name of his organization is the Power of Peace Project. And it's really all about helping people understand how important it is that we love each other and that we give and serve each other. So I said to Kit on the phone so Kit, I'm really troubled because we want you to come preach, but it's not going to be about what you've been doing. It's a marriage weekend. This is a marriage thing. And so Kit said, well, there's two ways I could take it. He said, it could be that, you just mean you don't think I want to do that. Or it could mean you don't think people want to hear what I have to say about it. And I said, no, Kit, it's the first one. I just really thought with all the things that you've done and everything God has done in your life, that first thing is where you kind of go, this isn't really the right fit for me. And well, he went on and told me a very brief story of this. And I'm not even going to tell you anything because he's going to tell the story. But here's what he told me at the end of the brief story that he told me. He said, so I told my wife not very long ago that one day God was going to give me the opportunity to tell the story about our marriage. And it gave me goosebumps. When he said that, it was like, okay, God, why did I even doubt, right? I mean, why? Why did I doubt? And so I'm just so amazed and so thrilled that Kit's here today. We're going to have a really short video, and then Kit's going to come up and teach us.
It started with the 12 who took a stand for peace and living. It was a crazy dream, but they found the joy in giving, and they found their strength together. Who would have known peace was on the move? What we all need is the peace and the storm, the power that comes from love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. From young to old, the story is told. How 12 forgotten souls found peace behind the wall. Yeah, found peace behind the wall. The kids had lost their way and they needed inspiration. The brothers stood up tall. The story spread across the nation, showing that the dream was living. Who would have known that peace was on the move? What we all need is the peace and the storm, the power that comes from love. Yeah, 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 yeah. From young to old, the story is told. How 12 forgotten souls found peace behind the wall. It's the power of peace that opens our eyes.
And it was beautiful from the rip. I was like, man, this is just cool. I don't care where he got it. I don't know how he got it. He made it. So if I hold this up and I say, what do you see? Somebody might say a stick. Another might say a cane. Another might say a staff. But nobody yet, I asked that question a lot, nobody has ever responded by saying a branch. And fundamentally, is that not what it is? See, because nobody sees the journey, all they see is what's in front of them, right? You don't see what it took for him to get here. And so this story of Roots, who's become a little rock star, man, he's getting requests. I'm so not lying, man. I got hit up by the Kennesaw State University basketball team. Is Roots available on March the 7th? I'm so not lying, man. People are like, man, I'm so glad Roots is coming today. So I'm like, I'm here. Man, can we get a picture with Roots? I'm so not even lying at all. I'm telling you, he won't leave me. I lost him in a forest. Found him. Lost him in a cow pasture out in the middle of nowhere. Didn't even remember how I got there, and I found him. Left him in a stall of an airport bathroom. Almost got on the plane and went back and I got him. It's like, anyway, I go on and on. You can tell my deep affection. So, there was a time where this thing was, man, had a good life. Maybe he was at the top of a 100-year-old oak tree. Man, it was a good life, connected to the nourishing sap. Roots in the trunk, green leaves, breeze, cool rain, warm sun, little birds perched out on him. Nobody could see him up there. Life is all about, he's just connected to the source, right? But then something comes along, we don't know what. Maybe it was a storm, or it could have been a lightning strike, or it could have been the axe at the root of the tree. But something knocked Roots out of his purpose. And he lay on the streets of downtown Atlanta, in a little place called Lakewood, trampled on, kicked aside, destined to be burned, because that's what we do with trash. It's what I do when I clean up branches. I don't go, a treasure. See, but there was a homeless brother walking around with intention. And he was looking for just the right instrument for me, for a purpose, which was protection. And so I see Roots in my mind's eye. He's looking, and nobody else sees what he's looking for. And then all of a sudden he sees one right size, right shape, and he starts banging away on it. He cuts some things off of it, chisels it down, cuts grooves in it, paints it, weatherproofs it, gets it just right, presents his gift. He moved on. I don't know where he is. Wish I did. He doesn't know what he did. He doesn't know that he sent this nasty branch on a world tour to see all of that stuff and more. Carries the energy of the world in him. He never would have gone on tour if he hadn't fallen to the ground. See, you get knocked down, that's when you find out who you are. Everybody's safe in here. It's out there when you find out who you really are. When life squeezes you, knocks you down, you feel like the branch. 16 years ago, I was the branch. I didn't want to be here. Somebody saw me. But it wasn't anybody. He saw me. See, I failed the first go around with y'all, with my former. And then I was down. It was just me. Sometimes God will pull you aside, move you to the front of the class. And that's when you learn. See, went on a world tour. So I hold him up, kids, convicts, corporate executives, and I say, what's his name? And they say, Roots. Y'all want to try it? What's his name? Roots. You just shouted the homeless brother's name. His name has been shouted all around the world. He's made an impact. Sometimes you don't know. So, second go around. I like to say the last 15 years, Been nothing but good stuff. I learned my lessons. Man, I put it all into practice, so now, shoot, yeah, I'll do a seminar, bro. Nah. God rescued him from the flames. I've never shared as much as I'm going to share publicly about this. My wife will be here today, but she's traveling. Doesn't travel very often, but she's out of town this weekend. You could have met her. But once again, it had died on the vine. And I thought, really? And it was that far gone. Wherever you are today, there's no way you were closer than we were. I'm talking about getting affairs in order, kind of close. It was unsalvageable. And then God touched it. Just like the branch, this is the marriage. But see, you don't get it connected back to the tree. He ain't never going to be back in that 100-year-old oak tree. Now he's on a world tour to go out and share about life in the tree. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is to share about how God picked up this branch of a marriage. And now for some reason today, decided to shine some light on it. Only the mistakes are mine, and I mean that. A couple of things today that I want to share with you. Not just the story of Bruce. You could go ahead and put that up, the first, or not. Matthew 25. These are two scriptures I bet you've never heard used at a marriage. Matthew 25. You know the story. Sheep and the goats. I could preach a story about some sheep and some goats. I could give you goosebumps and make you cry a little bit. Let's go out and help some people this week. And I love that story. But then I found out 15 years of ministry, by definition, I was much more of a goat. I just preached a lot to the sheep. And so he goes on to say something that would absolutely change my life. Because when I was the branch, living all alone in an 800 square foot apartment, that was my fault. Seeing my kids on the weekend, drinking every night, trying to stop the pain. I cried out. I was done. And I shook my fist at him, went on my little run. Got whatever I had to get out of my system, beaten into a state of reasonableness. And then I had the most real talk I've ever had with him. And I said, I'm back, and I don't know what you're going to do with me, but just let me do something for you. That's the prodigal son. I wasn't a prodigal son at 25 when y'all found me. Shoot, that's when he brought me onto his ranch. I was a prodigal son after I threw it all away and went out there and squandered it. So now I'm coming back saying just hired hand is cool with me. That was my moment. And I said, if you ever see fit to let me preach again, I'll go to the harassed and helpless. Man, I'll go to the hungry and the thirsty and the naked and the stranger and the sick and the prisoner. Man, maybe they'll let me preach. Ain't no church looking for a drunken fallen preacher. Maybe they'll be my congregation. And he fulfilled that. Okay, now check this. Through a kingdom kid that was in this ministry, that was locked up and had gotten into a very dangerous gang and was fighting for his life, called me, and that set into motion what would lead to that. Kingdom kid. You guys helped me find that. You did. This is a thank you message too. Because that kid changed my life. He's still locked up. He changed my life. He'll be home in about 5, 6, 7 years. You never know what God's about to do. So I let it die on the vine again. And the other woman was my work. That was the other woman. Man, everybody loves what I'm doing. Why does my wife not love it? How come she can't see what everybody else sees? The other woman. Man, you travel around the world for her. You tell crowds of strangers about her. Your kids know you because of her. I got to see the way everybody's always saying, oh, go, 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 yeah. For her, I didn't see it because I'm like, I'm on a mission from God. See, sometimes it's like cognitive dissonance. I know that I'm supposed to love my wife, therefore I do. And then I'm on the road all the time. Man, she's out of town for 3 days and I'm going crazy. I'm like, this sucks, honey. I'm sorry. This is not easy, honey. I'm trying not to cuss today because I work in prisons a lot. So if I do, I'm so sorry ahead of time. The other woman, of course, she resented my work, wouldn't you? I was walking into hell. And that doesn't count. I was walking into hell. And really put my life on the line while she was at home. By herself. We're empty nesters. It's a beautiful thing if you got a great marriage. We got young ones here. I was willing to die for the other woman. Now, I didn't understand it at the time. But then the second scripture, see, the least of these, I took that as a promise. He said, you want to know where I'm going to be? I will be with the least of these. You want to find me? That's where I'll be. I took that literal. And so I was going into those homeless shelters and prisons and third world and all those crazy places. I was looking for Jesus in front of everybody that got in front of me. It was a gang. On death row in Alabama, on death row in Louisiana, working with cartel guys in a prison in Tijuana, looking for God in the other. And they come alive in front of you. They're like, how can you go into those places? I'm like, you have no idea. People know what you see in them without even knowing they know. And so that became my secret, is Jesus hides with the least of these. And then the next one, please. And then Paul's ministry. Paul preached where he had been preached. He went where there were no churches planted. He didn't have a home church. Every time he got invited to the SEC, he was in trouble. That was the oldie goldies in the room, you know what I'm saying? Paul, but this changed me. See, experience is what changes us. God bless quiet times. Have them. God bless reading that book. Read it. But action is what changes us. That is where our faith is born. You want to experience amazing grace? But see, my marriage was the whole in my gospel. I couldn't preach about marriage. Couldn't. I would have had to say, no, bro, I appreciate it, but call me back when I can just talk about the other one. And so I had a moment of clarity, because I'm begging God, please don't let this happen again. And then I realized what we adore flourishes and comes alive. That which we adore, that which we neglect, leaves us. Because it withers, blown away by the wind. And so I look at the things that I'm adoring in my life, and it hurt me when I realized that my beautiful flower was withering. And when a flower withers, it begins to become resentful. And heaven forbid, bitter. Because then the flower is poisoned. But it's not the flower's fault. It just needs sunshine and water. And so I began to realize that it wasn't her at all. And this was a neat thing. Paul said, I've become all things to all people so that I might save some. I've become all things to all people so that I might save some. I have become an expert in the special, hopeless case. The tougher the better. I couldn't wait to get to the next place. Put somebody in front of me that is no way, and let me play. That was my specialty. What I didn't know is maybe God was using all of that to say, here's a hopeless case right in your house. And then it was like I'd never seen it before. Scales fall off the eyes, and it's like I saw a woman who had never been loved completely. Not by anybody. In her previous marriage, she was not loved. So here's a beautiful woman, tough, self-made woman, little bitty 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing, little lightning rod. Trying to fight her, she will fight you. God bless that. Lord knows, I didn't need that. Tiny little, woo. But see, all of that power now was going into negative energy, resenting the life that I had chosen. And I thought, man, nobody's ever loved her like that. So she's the one. Nobody else stuck with me. My mom, my kids, that was it. It's not that y'all didn't. I didn't let you. I didn't want to see you. The only one that rolled with me was her. She knows the ugliest me. She's seen it. She knows the goofiest me. She knows the funniest me. She knows the real me, not the Instagram story. See, that's the life everybody, we want everybody to see that one. Nah. This was real. It was, if I would love her, maybe I'm put on the planet to love her completely. What's that going to do to your business? I don't know, but I got to get off the road. Man, what's that going to do to your money? I don't know. Ain't got any anyway. All I knew was God was saying, love her completely. And it became a game. And I thought, this is going to be so hard. And it turned out that it wasn't. Here's what I had been doing. I had been becoming the other inside it, in front of hated, feared, forgotten people, hopeless causes, people they're pushed aside, true least of these, and yet I could become the other. So the Muslim leader in the prison, I became Muslim. Teach me, brother, I want to know everything a Christian doesn't know about Islam. And he taught me. I sat at the feet of a guru, rock star guru in an ashram up in the hills at his feet and learned, teach me about Hinduism. I sat with the rabbi, teach me ashrams and cathedrals and synagogues and mosques. Teach me, because I don't know. Illegal aliens, how does it feel? Cartel guy, what happened? And it turns out people they'll answer you if you ask questions sincerely. And so that had been my whole game. As you become the other, you step into their shoes. Imagine if Republicans were able to become the Democrat to try to feel them so that there could be a conversation. What if Democrats began to feel Republicans and say, why do you believe so strongly what you believe? It's the answer. Become the other. But in my marriage, I was trying to get her to become me. See, I wanted her to care about what I cared about. I wanted her to forgive me. I wanted her to go on my back. I want her to love things I love. Love my business, love the other woman. Why would she? She's built to be loved. Brothers, we give respect and we're fine. She is a flower, just meant to be adored. And so I began to adore my wife. Everything that I've been judging. Until things that she loves that I didn't love, I began to participate. How come you never go shopping with me? I started shopping with her. How come you never cook? I'm still working on that one. Would you get a pedicure with me? Oh, no, you didn't. Every other Saturday, baby. Yeah. We both decided to become expert masseuses. So once a week, the other gets a quality massage. Just chill for a second. It's like music, candles, lighting, everything. Work on your craft. Work on your craft. You know where I got that one from? The man that saved my mom's life. Because my mom, I'm a mama's boy. And my dad passed in 88, 91. She married again. And it took a while, that relationship. You know what he does? I left you how to roll my like this. Every morning, and I mean every single morning, there ain't a morning it doesn't happen. At 8:30, he wakes up my mom and gives her an hour-long massage every single morning. Why? Because he read somewhere that if you get regular massages, you will live longer. And he wants my mom to live a long time. Now that's challenging somebody in here. Some of y'all are like, bro, you could have saved that for a men's retreat. I don't really need to be. Why'd you just do that to me? Whenever a door comes alive. So if I become the other, and now I've become my wife, then I'm going to love what she loves. Gardening. Yeah. Remodeling. Yeah. The things that pedicure. Yeah. Become the other. Magic happens. Is that not what Jesus did? Never a crowd when there was one in front of him, and he became the other. Because he knows the way out of the holes that we get trapped in. Every cell needs to be adored. You need to, anything that you don't adore of your own self will curse you. How many of us look in the mirror and judge ourselves and hate what we see? Whatever we neglect will leave us. Whatever we judge and hate will resent us. And so we're wondering why we're not happy, and our own bodies are resenting us because of the way we judge it. Our own minds, the conversations we have in the head, we're not good enough. Did you have a good week? I don't know. When we start going through lists and find out if I'm doing okay. Always judging ourselves, hard to forgive ourselves, and once we get that, we give the other what we have. Got to adore ourselves. Adore the other. You'll be amazed what you find. Intimacy was something that I didn't think I was capable of. All of us have stories. All you see is what's in front of you. You don't see the journey. You don't see the branch. You see, life has hurt us. And so we get to a point where we can easily be defined by the identity that we've wrapped ourselves in through the storms and the things maybe we lost. And yet God wants to do some of his best work. Because which would you rather see? A marriage that's always been awesome. They do every year is the retreat. Of course they're the keynotes. They're the perfect couple. And every year you're like, way to go, bro! I'm not any good at all. Wouldn't you rather see someone rescued from the flames? I'm talking about smelling like smoke and saying, let me tell you how the branch went on a world tour and then God glorified himself because there's no way to take credit for this one. Adore. Become. What is the thing that your spouse would absolutely, it would make them come alive if you tackled that thing? Like I really want you to bring it to mind. I want to do all the things that I never did. All the things I never did for y'all. This is called living amends. It's when you get to a point in your life when you say, man, I'll never be the same, and all the things I've always wanted to change, I'm going to war. And I'm going to really do the things that I've been preaching about for a long, long time. Oh, so much more than just inviting someone to church. So much more than a quiet time. I'm talking about a life. I'm talking about the storm is the good stuff. I mean, it hurts. It costs something. But this is something that is beautiful. And she has come alive. And she said, I don't know anyone that has a marriage as good as ours. Now, brothers, I did not say that. She said it. It might not be true. There might be somebody out there, but now we have this little gang, and it's like, man, I'll say, hey, I'm trying to get that back-to-back Husband of the Year award, baby. But that joker in Milwaukee, he is right on my tail. And we have this fictitious little national Husband of the Year thing going on. And so, heck, yeah, I was supposed to win. Massage night, yeah, more, I'm running out in front and going to Home Depot with her. What? Brownie points. We started designing our life. Phones off at 7, no excuses. Nighttime is best friend time. I can't wait to hang out. I promise you I'm not lying. That was not lying, always in service. I promise you I'm not lying. The best part of my day is at night hanging with my girl. We do our thing. We started to plan not just date night. Date night was movie and dinner. So we started really doing some cool date nights. And then we said, man, we got to get away more. So we started planning at the beginning of the year, planning our quarterly getaway. Go to Memphis. That doesn't cost much. Go to Nashville. Go down to New Orleans. Anywhere you can drive. Go to Charleston. Go to these cool towns, Savannah, and just explore with your spouse. And you've got a weekend coming up. We're going to Rome in April. I've always wanted to go to Rome, Georgia. No, I'm kidding. We're going to Rome, the real one. Why? Because we want to. And here's the deal. We do what we really want to do. We do what we feel like we got to do. We get it done. We don't have money to do that. Dadgummit, we got to find some. Because these are the things, you know that people at the end of their lives do not regret what they did. They regret what they didn't do. I want to do all the things I didn't do the first time. I want to water it, shed light on it, nourish it, fertilize it, till that soil. I want my wife to shine as a flower that God just blesses. And the more that I do that, you'd be amazed what's happening with my business. You'd be amazed what's happening just with my relationships. I don't travel anymore much, and I love it because I miss her. This is the miracle that's so much greater than all that stuff. That stuff is just a journey. I get to go see miracles and come back and talk about them. Terry, she's the miracle in my life. She wouldn't let me go. I tried to go, but she wouldn't let me. Never had anybody in my life do that for me. Now I want you to think about your spouse. You're ride or die. Think about the journey you've been on. Think about what it took. I bet you've been on the ground. Think about how she has been there for you. She's seen the worst and she's still there. Think about how he has sacrificed and put things that he might have wanted to do as a young man aside. Why? So he could take care of you. Think about what you've been through. Really think about it. Now think about the parts of her that you have not adored. Have you adored her pinky toe? I'm so serious. Have you adored it? Have you said, it's so cute, look at it? I mean, every bit of her wonderful makeup that makes her this thing we call Terry, have I adored every bit. And if not, what is lacking? I got to love her completely. She deserves it. I want to do all the things I didn't do the first time. I want to go the places. I want to preach the sermons. I want to live out my life. But I don't want my marriage to be a casualty. Because I chased that dream and stopped chasing her. Understand this. What we neglect will leave us. And there is someone else adoring her. Somebody is. It's the way of the world. lastly, people are like, what's wrong with the world today? Man, it's going crazy. Seeing things, hearing things, experiencing things that are just like, whoa, it's out of control. There's such a divide. And we get beat up. The news beats us up. Everything we see on social media just tears us down. Everybody's got a great life. Everybody's always on vacation. The kids are going to Yale and they have cocktails. Man, that's their Instagram story. That ain't real. You got two people. The real. That's you and her. That's why I'm talking a lot to the men. Well, that's where I'm coming from. But I would say the problem in today's world is we don't have enough dreamers. Like, what is it? There's an age requirement on dreams. Is there an expiration date? Dreams are for young people? Because here's what I know. The bigger the dream, the stronger the pull. The big thing always pulls the small thing. The sun pulls the earth. The earth pulls the moon. The moon pulls the tides. And the ocean pulls the river. The river pulls the stream. The creek all the way up to the pond in the rain. The big thing always pulls the small thing. And so the bigger the dream, it will pull you through stuff that will get you jammed up. Temptation, worldly desires, fatigue, age, the sniffles, bad weather, failure, obstacles, hardships, a fight. See, a big dream, and my dream was and is, man, I'm going to preach this to the whole world. Never going to stop. I'll die for this. Oh, I promise you I will. I finally found something I'm willing to die for. And I will do that. That's a huge dream that pulls me through the temptation to give up. But here's what I have now that's even bigger. Man, the dream for my family is everything to me. I will gladly die for that. Maybe I'm coming into the world to show my son how to live, but also to show him how to die. My marriage now is the big thing that pulls me. God gave me intimacy. I didn't think I could have it. We protect what we value. Become the other. Adore every cell. Man, treat her better than you treat the least of these, and protect that dream from any threat that could get in the way of it. And see, we live life that way, and we're pulled through life instead of pushing. Marriage is hard, push. Marriage is hard, push. It's like, nah, be pulled on an adventure with your champion spouse. You don't see the branch anymore. Maybe you can't see your marriage yet, but man, it's a shining light. And the world needs it. Thank you for answering my prayer today. I can't wait for you to meet my wife. When you meet her, you're going to like me better. You're not going to like me better than her. You're going to like me better when you meet her. You get it? In case this is being filmed. Love you, baby. That's it.